This is chess structures. But why should you care? Well, study this book and you will learn the most important plans, patterns and ideas in chess. You will require lifelong strategic knowledge and you'll be provided with the foundation to play in any types of chess position. Sound good? Let's get started then. Chapter 1, the Isolani and the most important structure in chess. Why? Because playing against the isolated D pawn crops up in so many different chess openings. So let's look at the main plans and ideas for playing with the isolated pawn and against it. Now obviously it can be either white or black which has the isolated pawn, but for simplicity's sake let's just say white has the isolated pawn in all these positions. So typically the player with the isolated pawn seeks for a kingside attack or to liquidate the pawn by playing d4, d5 breaks. Typical plans include knight on e5, bishop g5, the queen battery with bishop c2 and queen d3, playing rooks on d1 or e1 or c1 and rook lift ideas to e3. Here's an example of the pawn liquidation d4, d5. For the player playing against the isolated pawn, the idea is to try and eliminate defenders and gang up onto the isolated pawn into an endgame situation, or try and occupy the really important d5 square either with the knight, a bishop, rook or the king. Let's just look at two games from the book, one from a white side and one from a black side, showing the plans we just looked at. And in this game we're just going to look at and get a general overview of the sort of attacks that to expect playing against or with the isolated pawn. So let's get to a typical position. Not really interested in the opening as such. And here we'll start it from this position. So we get the typical Isolani position from white's point of view, with the pawn on d4. Already we have got the bishop on g5 exerting pressure on the knight on f6. We've got the knight on f3 and we've got one of the rooks active. The other rook can be active fairly soon to e1 and it's black to play. Black makes a good move, knight a5, by challenging the bishop and preventing early d4, d5 breaks. It has to be said that instead of this, if ever black tried in this position or positions similar to this, h6, then white has often got attacks against the king by sacrificing the bishop, as in this following example. Already white's threatening moves like knight g5 or d4, d5, opening up the position. If for example we have knight g4, then queen f4, f5 and then d5 for example, and we get that idea of the d4, d5 break, open up absolutely everything, and the black king is extremely exposed in this position. Going back to the original position, after knight a5, going after the bishop, white obviously has to keep the bishop, bishop c2, hits the queen, queen away, and now we have a really nice move, because if knight a5 in this position is what you might expect, going after the bishop, then we can play d4, d5, and I think this just emphasised how dangerous this d4, d5 break can be. If for example, if knight tries to take the bishop in this position, then d6 just looks crushing for white. For example, here's a sample line, and then the knight on e5, again an extremely active knight, and black's position is looking a little bit shaky. So after b5 is played in the game, knight e5, a similar theme, betting the knight onto a nicely active square as with the common plans. Black retreats because taking the knight and then transferring the d pawn to e5 also looks very good and very strong for white. Here's a sample line. It just clearly wins a pawn in that position. So black retreats and we get the rook into the game in e1. h6, so h6, and white goes in for a sacrifice position, and you've got to have, you know, balls of steel if you want to sacrifice the bishop into these lines, and you're playing with the Isolani, you're in for some exciting attacking chess. So here's the game continue. Rook lift idea, as with the basic plans and ideas at the start of the video. King tries to go safe, queen comes into the play, hitting the pawn on h6, and this is really quite a crushing position. And now we get the d4, d5 break again, and this is just really strong, opening up the position against the black king. Who needs the bishop when you've got the rooks coming into the game? And this is a serious mistake because white can even sacrifice the rook, and this position now is just absolutely crushing for white. With this move just goes into a winning endgame. So if the game continued, for example, we could have seen the following lines. And white is 3 pawns up in the position. Let's have a look at one example from black's point of view, playing against the isolated pawn. So let's look at this game fragment. We can see that black has succeeded in trading down pieces, and we have a rook and a queen against the isolated pawn. So white has a permanent weakness that he must defend in order to keep onto the pawn. And often black is able to create weaknesses elsewhere, which we'll see in this endgame example. So c6, back to play. And we've got the idea now of ganging up on the d pawn, which white is tied to the defence. And black is in no hurry, can improve his position, improve the king position. And this is an example of trying to create another weakness. As it says in the notes, the b pawn is basically lost already. And here it's worth noting that taking the pawn would be a dangerous blunder due to the x-ray on the king. So that's why we study our common chess patterns, in order to not do that. So let's move on. So instead, in the game, ganging up on the b4 pawn, stepping out of harm's way is what was played in the game, but actually it says in the notes that f6 is more accurate, going into the queen endgame, just trading down material and playing into this sort of position. Playing against the isolated d pawn is perfect if you like endgames especially, and if you're comfortable in these sorts of positions. That was a look at chapter 1 from this wonderful book. If these videos are popular, then I might consider doing some more, so remember to stick the thumbs up and subscribe. I've also got a sale on my chess visualization course on Amazon at the moment. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.